Anthony Hernandez just absolutely beat the brakes off of Roman Dolidze. There wasn't 2 seconds in that fight where Roman Dolidze had any success whatsoever. So now what we have to do is figure out what's next for every single one of the fighters at UFC Vegas 109. My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson, and welcome to a What's Next episode of Bad Takes. Josh, what did you think of UFC Vegas 109 as a whole?
I thought it was a great card. I mean, like, if I'm rating that card like 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I give it somewhere around that 8.5 or 8. I know you're a little bit stricter of a giver of good quality fights, but for me, look, what I got entertaining fights, and I rated off of that. I care about when I sit down after watching thousands and thousands of fights in my life, I'm thinking to myself, what's going to get me to stay interested? And these fights, from beginning to end, they were fantastic. They had some great action fights from the bottom of the card all the way up. I mean, like, literally, when I'm looking at that card, the Jocelyn Edwards, I'd never seen her fight that good. I've never seen her fight that, and she freaking blew it up. And normally she kind of wilts under pressure. She came out. Sure, she was backing away, but she was cutting angles, hitting some nice shots. She wasn't afraid to slug. I was like, okay, I can finally start supporting you as a fighter, because before, fuck, man, when she used to come on, I'd just put my blinders on, take my little, 15-minute nap, and then turn it back on when she was out. This was a great performance by her. I love that. And this literally went up the card. There was fights like that, fighters that I haven't seen before, and going, I don't know. And then as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, great job. Nice work. So a lot to talk about. But hey, if we're going to go right into the main event, when you looked at Fluffy, did you give him this much of a dog? Because I didn't think, in terms of when I do my dog walk pick of the week, like, he was not on my dog walk. I'm like, he's going to struggle a little bit in the first 2 rounds. Maybe in the third, he'll start taking over. He's a cardio machine. You said he didn't get that. Dolidze didn't win 2 seconds of the round. I gave him about 30 seconds of the fight is what he won. 30 seconds.
I was, and people are going to hate this. There's 2 takes I'm going to give that people are going to absolutely hate. One is, of course, Anthony beat the piss out of Roman, so you can't take anything away from him. But I feel like a lot of that had to do with how bad Roman looked. Like, Roman was, his fishing for leg locks was some of the most embarrassing MMA grappling I've ever seen. Just head down. He was face down, ass up, on the ground, willingly putting himself in that position to find leg locks. That was like, what the hell are we doing? So yes, Anthony Hernandez beat the absolute piss out of him, so you can't take anything away from that. But it's hard if I'm looking at what Anthony Hernandez did to Roman and what RDR did to Whitaker. RDR and Whitaker was a far closer fight, but RDR got a great version of Whitaker. Anthony Hernandez got this like baby tumbling class version of Roman Dolidze. So it's a weird dynamic. Anthony, like, you can't, I'm trying to figure out how to articulate this without people blowing their mind. I can't take anything away from Anthony, but he didn't beat the best version of Roman. Roman just looked horrendous. Like, he looked horrendous. I thought it would be a far more competitive fight. I picked Anthony. I said the cardio, the pressure, the pace, all of that will work for him. But I didn't think Roman would be like literally rolling around with his face on the mat, hunting for leg locks in the most... The way he was looking for leg locks is if I'm trying to throw a punch from back here. It's like the most obvious telegraph thing I've ever seen in my life. It was crazy.
Yeah. You could tell that Anthony Hernandez had prepared for that position, because he had seen right away.
He stayed on the hips. Yeah, he didn't touch the legs at all. Yeah.
Even when he got the takedowns from the body lock, he in the air as he's taking Roman down, he's like shuffling his hips to the side. He's just hitting the wrestling position. He's just trying to like sag his hip to the ground, let him pop back up, roll him forward a little bit. And as he started attacking the legs, he would just stand up and back away. But that's great research. You said you're not going to, like, you don't want to take anything away from him, but then you went ahead and just took everything away from him.
I didn't take it away. It was a great win.
Roman Dolidze didn't fight Fluffy didn't fight the best version of Roman Dolidze. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. He made him look that bad. He made him look like the pressure. The pressure wilts people, man. Like, look.
Dude, Angelo, Roman was rolling around like a fool in the first minute.
Angelo.
There wasn't pressure wilting yet.
Yes, there was. There's that adrenaline. Oh, gosh, Angelo. Look, you and I trained on Sunday or Saturday for 2 hours, okay? Like, literally, we started,
I looked like Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze.
You got some excuses, right? I mean, like, you're 275 and you're fucking pushing 50. pushing 50.
260, 42. I had 10 beers the night before, and I had an 11-mile walk that morning. So yeah, I was a little tired.
It's so funny when I picked you up, you said,
and it was in the bathrobe.
You said 7 miles the morning I picked you up. Now it's 11.
You know what it is? I didn't factor in the curvature of the earth the first time I said
it's a flat earth, buddy. It's flat. It's flat. It just like he made Roman look bad. And look, some fighters are the best when they're the hammer. Roman Dolidze is the worst when he's the nail. He is the worst. And we've seen it before in the past. And we see in this fight, Fluffy Hernandez, I think, knew if I put pressure on you, you don't know how to fight off your back foot. And not a lot of fighters do, believe it or not. You know, they're great when they're the hammer, but they wilt a lot when they're the nail. And so he just proved like, hey, it's been laid out on how to beat Dolidze now. Put pressure. You may take some big shots in that first 2 minutes. Okay, but just don't get hit with anything crazy and wrestle him, hang on him, make him work. I was surprised, to be honest, like you said, flopping around, almost like butt scooting to get to the leg locks.
Yeah.
I was surprised he didn't try to actually hit takedowns, Dolidze. Like just try and shoot a takedown and get him down. If you take him down, then the leg locks will be available more so than you with your forehead on the ground, like in a wrestling position, just getting fucking mollywopped. I was shocked.
It was bad.
I was shocked.
Yeah, it was bad. And he had no backup plan.
None. Nothing. Because he had no.
It was knee bar or bust. It was like all that dude had.
He also had no cardio to implement that backup plan. Yeah. So, look, if I'm going to take Fluffy Hernandez, who do you see him fighting next?
It's so tricky because right now, first of all, this is the best the middleweight division has ever been. It's the deepest it's ever been.
Hands down.
The best it's ever been. Like we've had all-time greats at middleweight, like Anderson Silva. Chris Weidman had his little reign there. Like we've had a lot of like polarizing figures at middleweight, Adesanya, but we've never had the depth of the division that we've had right now. So the problem with right now, this minute, saying who Anthony should fight next, I got to see the next couple of cards. Let's see what happens in the UFC main event at UFC 319. Let's see what happens between Kyle Barallo and Nasruddin Imavov. If I have to pick right now, I don't think, and it sucks because he is on now an 8-fight win streak, I don't think he's quite earned a title shot just yet. And I don't necessarily want to match him up with RDR just yet because depending what happens this weekend, I think RDR should jump the line and fight for the title. So it almost has to be. I know a lot of
Kai and Imavov.
That's what I'm saying. I got to see that too. The only way I think it has to be RDR because he is polarizing. He's a popular guy right now. He's massive. Like there's a lot of plot lines with RDR. So I think he's got to get the title shot next. So I would say give Anthony Hernandez the winner of Imavov and Kyle Barallo. I would go that way.
Oof.
And it sucks because he's on an 8-fight win streak, and I'm like, I don't think he's ready for a title.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though. He's not. I mean, he still needs to work his way up. If you've got Imavov, who's literally been waiting 2 fights now at the number 1 spot to get to his title shot. He's been the number 1 guy. Yeah. So I think the winner of him and Kai, unless the fight is a total fucking snooze fest, has to fight for the title.
It might be.
It could be. I doubt it. Imavov's been fighting really, really good lately. Really good. And so is Kai Barallo. So I can see the winner of that fight, as long as that fight is not a fucking snooze fest. I think it being the next in line. Now, RDR is probably going to wait on the side. Who are you talking about with him? Who are they talking about him fighting? Oops, I dropped something.
RDR?
Yeah.
They don't have anybody next. I've been saying he should jump the whole line and he should fight the winner at UFC 319.
Okay, I mean, look, I could see that if the Imavov and Kai Barallo fight is trash, I could see that. I'm fine with that.
Even if it's not.
Really, even if it's not.
RDR's fights haven't been trash. He's finishing everybody. He's a new guy in the UFC. Mm-hmm. We've seen Imavov lose. We haven't seen Kyle lose just yet, but like, I don't know. I just feel like pay-per-view wise, number wise, interest wise, I think RDR is the most interesting of all of those middleweights. Maybe not the most deserving. To your point, Anthony's record, maybe not the most deserving, but I think he's the most interested.
Yeah, look, I love to see the RDR fight and Fluffy. I think that's a great matchup. But I'm also going to say, like, I think with Fluffy, he needs one more in a top 5, top 7 guy. I would give him Robert Whitaker, only based on the fact that they both just fought recently. Both one's coming off a win, I know, on the 8-fight win streak. But I need to get him a bigger name than a Delete.
He hasn't fought anybody. He doesn't have a single win of anybody in the top 10.
That's what I'm talking about. So I want to get him a win, and I'm not trying to like discredit Whitaker, but at least Whitaker carries the name. The former champion, all these things. I can build on that. Fluffy gets a win over, if he gets a win over Whitaker, and Whitaker hasn't looked great lately. He's kind of on his, I don't want to say way out, but he is getting older. So I give Fluffy a good win. And then I go ahead and wait and see how that dust settles in there with the Kai Bahalo, Imavov, and RDR, and who else is up there at the top? You got Strickland, and look, I wouldn't be opposed to the Strickland matchup because you know that Fluffy's going to stand and trade with him a little bit.
I was debating Strickland as well for him, or even Delidze. Yeah, because Delidze needs kind of a fun matchup too.
He just fought Delidze.
No, I'm saying Delidze for Strickland too.
Oh, got it. I'm staying away from Strickland and Delidze. Strickland's just going to come forward, do the same thing. Less. And Strickland's got really good anti-wrestling, and he's really hard to hold down. His whole career is just about him getting back to his feet. So I would stay away from that because Delidze is going to get tired trying to take him down. Then Sean's just going to just jab, push kick, and then we're either going to fall asleep or he's going to finish him.
I mean, Fluffy versus Strickland would make some sense too.
It would,
because Strickland's top 5, right? He's former world champion, interesting dynamic. So that fight could be fun.
Yeah, it could be fun. They both got great cardio. They both like to stand and trade. There'll be probably some trash talk back and forth inside the cage. There's some there, but I would give him more of the Whitaker. Whitaker being the former champion, kind of on the way down. Let me go ahead and beat him, build him up with Whitaker. And then Delidze, I'd probably give him Abus Magomedov. Neither one of them have cardio. And the two of them, by the time and they both come out hard in the first round, someone's probably going to get finished. And if not, then we're going to get 4. If it's the main event, probably won't be now. But we're going to get 3 rounds of them kind of just hanging and holding on to each other.
I said for Delidze, I said either Robert Whitaker or Gregory Rodriguez. Gregory Rodriguez is a guy that'll stand and trade. He does have some wrestling. They'll get after it. And Robert Whitaker, obviously, for all the reasons. If Robert wins, great. You have an all-timer, a popular guy who's back on the track. Or if Delidze wins, like, okay, he's back in the mix too. So, yeah, I mean, you can save Robert Whitaker to try to build somebody else like Fluffy. And then if you're going to go that route, then Gregory Rodriguez and Delidze, I think, could be just a fun fight. Neither one of them at this point are probably going to work their way towards the title. So let's just have some fun with some couple of guys that'll get after it.
Yeah, Gregory, I think, just bullies him around. Just smashes.
You think so?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, he's just got to.
I mean, then if Delidze's not beating the Gregory Rodriguez of the world, then he's not who he's supposed to be, and he's top 20 in the world instead of
he's
top
not
10.
who we thought he was. I can tell you that. You've got Erceg and Osborne. I mean, Erceg had to fight his way through that first round. After getting clipped, after getting bullied. And I know you put it out.
Dude, people hate my guts for that tweet too. Yeah, I've never gotten the hate.
It's horrible.
I've never gotten the hate before that I got for that tweet. People,
you want to know why? Let me tell you why. The fight wasn't even over yet. You're talking shit as he's mounting one of the greatest comebacks.
And I even said in the video, if he wins this fight, I didn't say it's over. I basically said, for anybody who didn't see the clip, I basically said, Steve Erceg's not that good. He's not who everybody thought he was. He's not that good. He's supposed to be this national champion wrestler. He comes out in the first round. His striking is just not there. He's way too hittable. He's been hittable in every fight. He's getting hit way too much. Makes 0 adjustments whatsoever until he's almost knocked out. Then he starts panic wrestling, gets takedowns. He's getting swept on the ground. He's getting reversed. Ode Osborne smokes him in the first round. And the only reason Ode doesn't win that fight is because his takedown defense is well below average at the UFC level. And he took the fight on 4 days' notice. Steve Erceg was the one with the full fight camp. So this whole narrative that Steve Erceg is this phenomenal striker is dog shit. Kai Kara-France put him out. Brandon Moreno outstruck him. And then now Ode Osborne outstruck him too. And then this whole thing like he's this national champion Australian wrestler. Maybe he is. And I mean, actually, he literally is. But he doesn't get into those fights with that game plan. Like his fight IQ, I would argue, is low. And everybody's come back to me as like, he made the adjustments and he showed us. Dude, this is a guy who earned I'm ranting. This is a guy who earned a title shot off of beating Matt Schnell, no longer employed by the UFC. Yeah. That earned his title shot. Steve Erceg not only hasn't beat anybody in the top 10, he hasn't beat anybody in the top 50. Steve Erceg is not who people think he is. He earned his title shot because that division is weak as hell, and he was just a flash in the pan, perfect timing. Now, do I think Steve Erceg is like horrible, cut his ass? Not necessarily, but he is not a guy that should be in any conversation about working his way to a title shot. I don't know how he has the love that he has. People are obsessed with him. I got called fat more times in that tweet than I have been in the last 25 years. People are obsessed with Steve Erceg. So, yeah, I'm railroading him a little bit here.
You are.
I honestly think, first of all, here's a couple of numbers for you.
Oh, keep it going. By all means, keep it going.
He just almost got knocked out by the number 34. The number 34 flyweight in the world almost knocked him out. And everybody's like, well, this is at 135. Ode Osborne's a 125. It was 135 because Ode stepped up on a few days' notice. Like, you almost get finished by a guy with no takedown defense. So your game plan going into that fight was trash. I hate it. Give him Manel Kopp so Manel Kopp can just beat the brakes off of him, and then we can just stop having these conversations.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
Honestly, and my rage for Steve is not even against Steve. It's against the people who attacked me for being like, dude, Steve Erceg's not that guy. And then everybody attacks me, so it just makes me double and triple down.
I'm under no illusions that he's probably never going to be champion. Okay, and I understand why he got the title shot. He stepped up, and that means a lot to the UFC. When you step up on short notice, you go out there and try and perform, and you didn't get it done, whatever it was, like that's huge for them. They like that because look at guys like Cub Swanson, Cowboy Cerrone. These guys have stepped up time and time again. They're not handpicking their fights. They're like, nah, you need me? I'm there next week. I'm in. I've been training all the time. I'm ready to go. This is what they do. And so Erceg being that guy that stepped up and put him in a good position, the UFC in a good position, fought for the title, didn't go his way, but guess what? He made the adjustments, which is a huge deal. Not to mention when you're taking a guy on short notice, this is not who he was supposed to fight. Angelo.
I hate that whole he made adjustments thing. Why didn't he make those adjustments when he was fighting Brandon Moreno? Because he was outstruck in that fight too. So he didn't make adjustments like, oh, okay, I'm a little behind. He's a little faster than I thought.
You're going to tell me that Brandon Moreno is Ode Osborne are similar in styles, and it's going to be easy to make those adjustments against someone like Brandon Moreno?
He didn't even attempt.
Ode Osborne is one-dimensional. He should have been wrestling from the jump. Okay,
that's my point. That is my point. You went in with an awful game plan.
I agree with you, but he also probably doesn't know who the fuck Ode Osborne is. It's like Ode is almost number 30 or whatever it is in this thing. So like you don't know, you've seen him fight. He's got speed. He got hit. He got clipped. It was early in the fight. He made the adjustments, and he came out and wrestled. Now you said, "Oh, he's some national champ Australian wrestler, brother."
Australia national champ can't beat an Arkansas
Australia doesn't have wrestling. Australia doesn't have wrestling. Stop, please stop, please stop. Remember when Babalu used to be like the Brazilian national champ or whatever it is? Everyone's like, bro, Brazil does not have wrestling. You guys got fucking jiu-jitsu. You got the opposite of wrestling. You guys go to your back. Stop, please stop with the whole jiu-jitsu or wrestling national champ or on the world team or bullshit. Stop it, please. So it's like, look, I thought he obviously struggled in the first round, got his ass kicked, came back, made the adjustments. And if you notice, as soon as he came out and shot the first takedown, that Ode Osborne was a completely different fighter. His
takedown defense is awful.
He just had no answer, no uppercuts, no flying knees, nothing to make him really threaten the rest. And he got taken down by a fucking Australian wrestler. That's even worse. That's worse. If you're Ode Osborne and you say, man, I got destroyed and out wrestled by Ozzy, fuck off.
Dude, Ode is also, so here's my issue with all of it, because rankings matter, hype, it's all a factor. So when people look at it in a silo and they're like, dude, he took a fight on short notice, he almost got knocked out and made adjustments. Yeah, it's easy to say that. But let's look at it. This is the number 5 ranked fighter on planet Earth taking on the number 40 fighter. And the number 40 fighter is the one who stepped up on short notice, not Steve. The number 40 fighter stepped up on short notice. And then the notion of he got clipped. He didn't get clipped. He was getting tagged. The first 3 minutes of that fight, he was getting lit up that entire first round. Then finally he got put down. Then he started the panic wrestle. It's not like what happened in the Brundage fight where the first punch thrown catches him off guard. And then That's not what happened. He was getting smoked. Then he made the adjustment. So my issues with all of this are, you're supposed to be the number 5 fighter on planet Earth in the biggest promotion. Then you come in here with a pretty bad game plan. Everybody, even fat podcasters like me, sat here and said, you need to wrestle. O'Day is not a bum. You got sparked by Kai Kara France. You got outstruck by Brandon Moreno. You need to wrestle. He didn't. And then it was too late. And then he started to wrestle. And if O'Day had any semblance of takedown defense whatsoever, or if O'Day said, I don't care if you're going to shoot, I'm swinging, he might not win that fight. Like, to me, it's all about all of those factors. Not, well, he got hit and then he made adjustments. It's like, well, he fought a dude 30 points lower than him in the rankings. That guy is the one who stepped up on short notice. He didn't make adjustments earlier in the fight when he was getting tagged, and then he was just desperate panic wrestling. So that's my issue.
Okay, so you're saying the guy that's ranked in the top 5, who has everything to lose, gets clipped early in the fight, makes the adjustments, and you're not going to give him any credit. Got it. You're really just digging yourself a bigger hole. Like,
he earned his way to a title shot with
murder.
I have been. I have been getting slaughtered.
Continue because this.
Well, now I'm tripling down to spite people.
like those hamburgers, just tripling down.
Correct. Listen, he earned a title shot with a win over a decision win over the unemployed David Dvorak. Then a decision win over the unemployed Alessandro Costa. And then finally a finish over the unemployed Matt Schnell. And then he fights anybody in the rankings. Somehow those 3 wins get him to a top 5 ranking on the planet. Loses to Pantoja, loses to Kai Kara France, loses to Brandon Moreno, almost loses. Honestly, I know he won that fight. His ranking needs to, what would you rank him in the world?
I would put him somewhere in the top 15 at 125, but I don't know if I'd have him as 5 or 6 or 8 or wherever he's at right now. I'd probably put him in that top 15 though. But then you also look at like who's the other guy? The Ola Asu
Almabayev?
Yeah, he's hot, like right behind him.
He's 11 in the world.
Yeah, I'd probably put him right there with him somewhere in that mix.
Tagir Ulanbekov? Tagir will beat Erceg.
I think Tagir beats him.
So now Tagir's a 12.
The problem with Tagir comes in, he's been winning, but then he just can't seem to have like a super exciting fight. And the UFC's just like, yeah, we're trying, man. But they're not pushing him. He fights, he has hard fights, and that's so. All right, look, let's go ahead and talk. So who? Now that you're done with your rant.
I said Manel Kape. Give him Manel Kape. You want to stick around the top 10 rankings? I want him out. You want to stick around in the top 10 rankings? Here's a very good striker with good takedown defense. Good luck.
Got it.
Have fun.
Yeah, I'm going to actually give him a little bit harder fight. I'm going to go with Tyra.
Tyra smokes him.
Okay, but see, look, I think with Tyra, you can build Tyra on, but hey, he fought
give him a title shot.
Like with Tyra, you can build Tyra up on it, and I think it actually makes for a fun fight. Tyra on the feet is okay, and Erceg is okay. On the ground, I think Tyra is way better, but we're gonna see. Like there's the matchup there. Tyra's probably physically, I think, stronger than him, but Erceg's pretty crafty on getting himself back up to the feet. He's pretty crafty in all these little areas. He's a very well-rounded fighter, Erceg is. But if I'm going to give him someone, now he's coming off of a win, I'm going to give him someone like Tyra because I can build Tyra for a longer period of time. Plus, I've got a whole country. I know I've got a whole country with Erceg from Australia, but I've also got a whole country in Japan. And I think the marketability is a lot better with Tyra. And so if I'm going to use Erceg for something that can still keep Erceg in that middle to keep the country happy of Australia and still be able to get views from them, I'm going to give him someone like Tyra. So you have Japan and you've got Australia, 2 countries battle each other. I think it makes sense. That's the fight. O'Day Osborne, who do you give him?
I mean, the problem with O'Day is he's so far in the rank, like he's so far down there. He's quite literally number 39.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what you do with O'Day.
I give him Nicolau.
I think, yeah, but Mateusz Nicolau needs a either win or go home kind of matchup. O'Day Osborne's fun. Mateusz will strike with him. So yeah, that's a fun fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Just like, hey,
you give him Charles Johnson as well. Charles Johnson
already fought,
but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And O'Day. Oh, that's right. O'Day was wrestling in that fight. Offensively.
Yeah.
That's right.
All of a sudden you're a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, or even a Cody Durden. Cody Durden needs a win desperately.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not saying he will win. I'm just saying he needs one. So throw this together. And if he doesn't get one, gone. And if he gets one, he gets to stick around.
There you go. I mean, if you wanted to build him on something, you could probably give him. No, you couldn't. I was gonna say, what's his Cody Garbrandt, but then they're different weight classes, 35 and 25.
Yeah, and I actually have Garbrandt for somebody else on this card. So.
I bet you do. All right, let's go. Angelo Hill versus Lucindo.
Yeah, so that was a fun fight where Angela Hill was the better fighter. You could tell she was the better fighter, but age really mattered in that matchup because Lucindo would just march forward a bit chaotically, just stay in Angela's face, get hit, do her own damage, and just kind of won with youth and forward pressure where Angela just couldn't dance around and stay away from the danger. If I'm starting with Angela Hill, give her another like crafty type veteran. I say Tisha Torres or Tisha Pennington.
They fought 5 times already.
But dude, Angela Hill's fought everybody.
I know. But I'm going to give her somebody that's not going to threaten her to take her down. I'm going to give her the Luke Boonmee or whatever her name is.
Loma Luke Boonmee?
Yeah, I'm going to give her
Loma's good.
I want to suck the most out of Angela Hill. I want to get some good, and Luke Boonmee or whatever, she's fun to watch. She does the foot sweep. She will grapple and wrestle a little bit, but she's mainly going to keep it on the feet. And then
great Muay Thai.
At the end of this, like I want to see Angela Hill at her best, and I want to see, and she's going to want to keep it on the feet. That's a fun fight. I think that's a fun fight. Plus, Luke Boonmee will be around, I think, a little bit longer than Angela will. Let's go ahead and try and build her. If she does beat Angela, now I can run with that a little bit. Do something with her.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I like Loma. Loma's a ton of fun. She's tiny, too small. Like if there was a 105 weight class, no, but I've just seen her in the cage. Why, have you met her?
No, I haven't met her. Oh. You said she's tiny. I'm like,
oh, just in every matchup she's in, she's just so freaking small, but she's just tenacious.
Thick legs, thick trunk, like.
It's a Muay Thai, yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Calm down. Where are your hands right now?
I love that.
What do you do with Heisman Lucindo?
So, look, I think what I do is I try to build her, because she's young, I try to build her and give her a good name. So I give her Jessica Andrade. That's a tough fight for her.
She's fighting this weekend, so I guess we got to see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens. But even if she loses, I still want to give the young girl, that's 23-year-old, an opportunity to beat a former champion. I mean, then I can run from there. But this is a big name. Andrade's kind of on the way out a little bit. Hasn't looked great. Still has power. Still a threat everywhere. Former champion. I take the 23-year-old and I build her up on the veteran's back, in this situation. And if she can't get it done, she can't get it done. Because she just came up short against
Yasmin. No, not Yasmin.
Yeah.
No. Short hair on the sides.
Lamoche, yeah. So she just came up short against her. Very similar, like just fast though. Jessica Andrade's not fast. She's bully. Like she plays the bully ball, right? She's gonna just try to walk you down and bully you around. Let's see if Lucindo can handle the pressure at a young age. 23 years old that's fucking wild.
She is young and she's tough and she's not afraid to fight. I went with Tabitha Ricci. Tabitha Ricci just got a nice solid win. 2 younger women, Tabitha's not super young, but 2 younger women in this division. Let's just see, if one of them can separate themselves.
You're one of the worst promoters ever, man. You're like trying to kill the people on the momentum going to the top. Like build the younger fighters on the backs of the old people. I was one of those guys at the end. I understand how important it is. I understand how important it is to make sure that you're building your promotion. Like no fighter's as big as the promotion. You've just got to keep building the young guys and the young females all the way up to on the old people's backs.
The problem is I don't think Heisman Lucindo is this great prospect.
I mean,
so I don't think she's needs to be built. She is young. Let's get her some growth and stuff. That's why I like the Tabitha Ricci, because I also think Tabitha Ricci, obviously she just finished Amanda Hebos with took the metal plate, separated in her cheek and all that nonsense. But Tabitha Ricci is also kind of in this weird middle ground where she's losing to really good fighters, not quite demolishing the other. I don't know. I like that matchup there to see, can one of them separate themselves from the pack, because they're kind of just hanging out there.
Well, Lucindo's 23 years old. She can hang out for a little bit. Once you
Correct.
get her,
but you're trying to give her, if she beats Andrade, then she's fucked because she's fighting only top 15 people.
She's still in that. No, because if she beats Andrade, then she's got Mackenzie Dern. She's got she's in that mix now.
She loses to Mackenzie Dern for sure.
You think so?
She's just trying to drag somebody to the ground. You don't want to be
with no fucking wrestling. She's got worse than Australian wrestling. She's got
her wrestling is bad. Wrestling is
fucking Brazilian wrestling, like I was saying. Fucking 2 of the fucking worst wrestling programs in the world.
Yeah,
fucking
it
ridiculous.
wasn't great. The what do you do with C-Rod and Andre Feely? I think there's a couple of cool matchups to make after that.
You know, Feely's on his way out. We know that. And for
He's
me,
35, yeah.
I'd probably give him Cub Swanson. The two of them right there.
Another old?
Yeah, they're old. And they're
Cubs
both going to trade.
though.
Yeah, they're both old though. Like, they're both going to trade. They're both going to have some fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fun fight. Like, I'm not trying to make it difficult for Cub, man. Cub's been a pioneer of the sport fucking forever. Like, I want to see him, have some fun in there. So Feely, I think, is a great matchup for him. Like, we're going to suck the last little bit of entertainment out of Cub Swanson, and we're getting the very last little bit of entertainment out of Feely. So I think that's a matchup that I'm interested in seeing. In terms of Rodriguez, I would go, and I know I popped his name off last week, but I'm going to go with Amir Hyder or Hyder Amil. Like,
Hyder Amil.
He's just going to walk
bomb
forward.
Away. Yeah,
he's going to walk forward, put pressure, make Rodriguez fight a fucking just a dog of a fight. And so I want to see how that all works out. Hyder Amil he's just fun. He just got starched in his last fight. So getting him a win, one of these guys coming in, you match these guys up, both coming off losses. One of them's going to get a win. You can have some fun with them. Like, they're fun fighters. Like, but Rodriguez he's got a long ways to go, man. He's got to make some adjustments. Yeah. Got to throw. I think he's better off at 125.
He kept missing weight.
Yeah.
Literally just kept missing weights. He was at 135, kept missing weight, so they forced him to 45, and he's just not quite like.
Sorry, I think he's better at 35. My bad.
Yeah,
45 definitely is way too big.
He missed weight three times is his issue. Yeah. So they forced him up. The problem is he didn't lose this fight necessarily because of the weight. Like Andre Feely was just a little faster, a little cleaner. So and Andre Feely is massive. So what C-Rod is tricky. C-Rod is tricky because going into this fight, I picked Andre Feely. And my breakdown was basically like, listen, C-Rod is good. He's gritty. He's fun to watch. But the reality is he hasn't beaten anybody with any real experience. He has only beaten these young prospects. So he made a name for himself as this prospect killer. But anytime he fought somebody with some real experience, he's lost. So I think he needs to fight somebody with like middle of the road experience or just figure it out. Because you can't have him beating all of your prospects when he himself is not a prospect. So I said Sadiq Youssef. I think Sadiq Youssef, he's on a little bit of a skid right now, but he's fun to watch. He's also a good fighter. Give him Sadiq Youssef. And if Sadiq can't really beat C-Rod, then maybe Sadiq's not quite where we thought he was. And if C-Rod can't beat Sadiq, it's like, then you've got to go back to the trenches and fight these younger guys and build your way back up.
Yeah, so I would agree.
Assuming he stays at this weight, I went Sadiq Youssef.
Yeah, I just went for the slobber knocker with Amir Hyder or Hyder Amir or whatever. That's something, both of them need to win. So, you get that. I didn't even do Miles Johns, but I did Matsumoto. Who do you have for Matsumoto?
I said Hani Barcelos. You want to build him off an old? Give him Hani Barcelos. Jean Matsumoto is good. He's way too hittable, though. Like, he's very, very hittable. He's just so young, and he's got a good chin, so it doesn't really matter. But I think that's a good matchup. Hani's got some wrestling if he wants to mix it in. Hani has shown that his striking is there. He's also a little older. Let's give Jean a couple of wins. I know he called out Rob Font, but forget Rob Font. Like, I agree. Jean won that fight. That was a bad decision. Forget Rob Font. Just keep doing your thing. Work your way up. So I thought, honestly, Hani Barcelos made some sense. I was going to say Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah,
but I gave Cody Garbrandt. I gave Cody Garbrandt to Miles Johns. Cody Garbrandt's just on such a skid. It's hard to take a guy on 4 in a row or something like that and give him a kid on the way up like that. Yeah. That's just too much of a skid. So I said Miles Johns for Cody Garbrandt.
I could see that. The Miles Johns and Cody Garbrandt makes perfect sense. For me with Matsumoto, I'm going to give him someone who I know is going to be fun, has a little bit of wrestling, like a little bit of judo. I'm going to give him Jourdain. So
that's a fun matchup.
That's a fun matchup, right? And he's still young enough. Matsumoto's young, and then you got Jourdain, he's going to bring the action. It's going to be this is Sparta push kicks and that type of shit, right? He's going to have fun with it. So I look at that fight. I think to myself, like, as a fan, I get to see the young guy potentially get a win over someone who everyone loves, in Jourdain. Yeah. And if Jourdain gets the win, then Matsumoto's not who we thought he was. Yeah, I think this is a very winnable fight for Matsumoto. It's a fun fight. There'll be a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of judo, some foot sweeps, and those type of things. But on the feet, it's basically going to get some exchanges. They're going to go back and forth a little bit. I think Jourdain will take over the fight in the first round, maybe first round and a half. But then I think you'll see Matsumoto start to come back and just start to put too much pressure, and Jourdain start to wilt a little bit. but it'll be a fun fight though in the process. I do like Cody Arbron fight though for Johns. Both got power. Just a trade. Just get in there and just trade. Just get in there and trade.
Did you agree with that decision? I agreed with it. I thought Gene won the fight, but a lot of people, I was surprised how many people thought Miles Johns got robbed. It's like he slowed down too much is the problem.
Yep. No, I agree with the decision 100%. Yeah. And the second round was close. The third round though, Matsumoto won, and the first round, Johns won. So it was just came out of the second round and how you scored that second round. And Big John and I were talking about this, is that the amount of output and significant strikes that Matsumoto landed in the second round was more than Johns. Johns landed, sure, one or two hard shots, but nothing that wobbled Matsumoto, nothing that really hurt him. The damage wasn't accumulated enough to give him the round where Matsumoto landed more strikes that were that did some damage, not as equal of damage, but did land those hard shots. So
it also felt like those judges, if you go to the Garbrandt fight that opened up the card, first of all, the scorecards were wild. The broadcast team was talking about it. My take was, I'm kind of fine with, I thought Brundage won his fight, but if he didn't, there's an intelligent argument to be made that he lost the first round, lost the third. I thought he did enough in the first to recover from a little bit of a stumble. But what was bizarre is the scorecards were all over them. The scorecards were a hot mess. I do think the correct fighters won their fights for the most part. Again, the Brundage fight, you could argue either way, but fine. The scorecards were kind of a disaster. It felt like the judges cared more about who looked fresher. Cody lost that fight quite literally because he was exhausted. And it just felt like that's probably why Miles Johns did as well. Like, hey, you just looked more tired. So I'm going to go with the guy who's still moving forward.
Yeah. No, I agree. I look, like I said, overall, what do you give the rating on this card?
I thought it was a good card. It was fun. I agree with you where it all comes down to, am I entertained or not? That's the most important factor. But I also give some weight to, do these matchups matter? The main event mattered very, very much for the division. Co-main event didn't matter that much. And the other fights also didn't really matter that much, meaning there wasn't a number one ranking on the line. There wasn't a title fight on the line. But they weren't entertaining. So I'd say, like, high 7, low 8, something like that. Like, it was fun. I enjoyed myself. I wasn't bored at any point. So what else could you ask for?
See, I don't think that the main event really mattered for the division a whole lot, but it did matter because of the way he destroyed Dolidze. It started to matter because of the way he made it look so easy. But to me, honestly, like, if either one of them would have been just a regular performance, I think everyone would be like, all right, okay, what's next? Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Brendan Allen and so fight, and it's like, it would have just been one of those. But the way he did it, the way that Fluffy dominated from the beginning, from the first bell to the finish, the way he did it, and the way he just fucking threw him on the ground, like,
oh, it's crazy.
Son. Who's next? Is there no one else? Is there no one else? Like, it was one of those moments. I was like, holy shit, he looked fucking great. So it did matter. But look, even when we go into into those later, earlier fights, you have Elijah Smith, Julius Walker, like, these were good fights, man.
Yeah. There were some fun fights we almost saw somebody die, but yes.
Yeah. And then Medic did what Medic does, right? Gets dropped early in the fight, fucking always gets in trouble, and then comes back and wins the fight. I mean, it was just good, man. Like, I had a good time watching these fights. I gave it an 8.5 possibly, but I'd say somewhere around there in that 8. Like you said, the name value does matter a little bit. But I saw performances by fighters that I normally don't tune in to watch. And I was like, okay, very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive. So I like that. Hey, man. Well, hey, I guess we're coming up on pay-per-view weekend, though. Huge weekend. UFC 319?
Yep.
And, and we have a lot to talk about. So make sure you guys tune in for our other video that's going to be dropping, talking about the new UFC TV deal. Don't miss it. It's going to be available on this page.